Unit 7. Urban changes during the British period. Vanakkam children.
Vanakkam ma'am.
Give an example for modern towns.
Mumbai, Chennai and Kolkata.
Good. Today let us discuss about the growth of new urban centres. British developed new centres of trade, like Calcutta, Madras, and Bombay, on the eastern and western coastal areas. Madras. 1639. Bombay, 1661, and Calcutta. 1690, cities which the British largely created and fortified.
All those were earlier finishing and weaving villages. Here they built their homes, shops, and churches, as well as their commercial and administrative headquarters.
From the mid-18th century, there was a new phase of change. As the British gradually acquired political control after the Battle of Plassey in 1757, and the trade of English East India Company expanded.
In the late 18th century, Calcutta, Bombay, and Madras rose in prominence as presidency cities. For administrative purposes, colonial India was divided into 3 presidencies under the British rule. A new trend of urbanization began in the latter half of the 19th century, as a result of the opening of Suez Canal, introduction of steam navigation, construction of railways, canals, harbors, growth of factory industries, coal mining, tea plantation, banking, shipping and insurance. Changes in the networks of trade were reflected in the development of urban centers. An urban area is one that has a high population density, engaged in occupations other than food production, living in a highly built environment. Port cities. The British arrived in India for trading. Madras, Calcutta, and Bombay became the important ports. They played important role in trade. These cities became the prominent commercial areas with tall European-styled buildings. The English East India Company built its factories and fortified them for the protection for the settlement. Fort St. George in Madras and Fort William in Calcutta were the best examples. Cantonment towns. The British occupied the Indian territory and political power by the military force. So, they needed strong military camps and established the cantonments. The cantonments were thus an entirely new kind of urban centers. Army people began to live in these places, and gradually they were grown-up city, example Kanpur. Lahore. Hill stations. Hill stations with distinctive features of colonial urban development. Although hill stations were not unknown prior to their founding by the British in India, they were few and had a small population, and were often visited for specific purpose. For example, Srinagar was the Mughal recreational centre, Kedarnath, and Badrinath were Hindu religious centres. The British, coming from a cool temperature climate, found the Indian summer season inhospitable. So the cool climate of Indian hills was seen as protective and advantage. It protected the Europeans from hot weather and epidemics, so they built up the alternative capitals. In cool areas, Darjeeling was the alternative of Calcutta. Dehradun was the alternative of Delhi. Hill stations became strategic places for billeting troops, guarding frontiers, and launching campaigns. Hill stations were developed both in North and South India, example Shimla, Nainital, Darjeeling, Uttarakhand and Kodaikanal. Shimla was founded during the Gurkha War, 1814 to 1816. Darjeeling was wrested from the rulers of Sikkim in 1835. These hill stations were also developed as sanatoriums, places for soldiers for rest and recovery from illness. The introduction of railways made hill station more accessible. Railway towns. Railway towns were also a type of urban settlement, and were established in 1853, after the introduction of railways by the British. By the nature of railway transport, all the towns were located on the plains, example Delhi, Mumbai, Kolkata. Thank you, children. Thank you, ma'am. Like, share and subscribe. Thanks for watching this video. Click bell button for latest uploads.